Wonderful to be with her today. So please just make welcome at this time Sandrina as she deals with tools to increase online engagement.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly. If you can, just type in the chat that you can hear me clearly. I'm just about to share my screen and we're going to get this conversation going this morning. I am looking to see if you said that. Okay, great. So you can hear me clearly. All right, so let's get this thing on the road. I know there are a couple of people who don't know who I am, so I'm just going to turn on the video just for a little quickly so you can see me. Hi, I'm Sandrina. I'm going to turn it back off so that one of the things that I'm sharing will carry across properly over the internet, right? So good morning, and we'll continue to talk together. So truth of the matter is, this has been a very crazy time, and we really just want to be talking together about how we can do everything that we're doing, do it to the best of our ability, because you really just have to do your best in this time. But the youth department is really here to support you as best as we can, give you the tools or the tips or the tricks that we've learned, and that you'll be able to use them for yourself. If you need to find me anytime after this, my email is on the screen. It's sandzdavis@gmail.com, and nobody is short of followers. So please go follow me on Instagram at sandscastle, right? So we're going to be talking about tools to increase your online engagement. Just to speak to something that we saw in the chat, somebody was asking about the recording of today's session. Just like we did the last conference, the presentations will be uploaded to the youth department's YouTube channel, so you can keep your eyes open for that. Now let's go straight into this online engagement situation. Online engagement is commonly defined as the interaction between people across a range of social networks, right? And as a background for us, we would have been gathering inside our different churches, and there would have been lots of engagement. Let's be honest. We'd be greeting each other, hugging up, talking, sharing meals, all sorts of things, jokes and so on together over the times of our different services and our different gatherings. The fact that a lot of that has been reduced due to the global pandemic, we have to now be thinking about how do we still engage each other in this time? And dare I say that engagement is the new church attendance. And I want to just talk a little bit about that for a couple minutes to say that why we say engagement is the new church attendance, because gathering online allows us to be able to do multiple things. Many times people have logged into our sessions, in theory, but they're not there, right? And you can test this out for yourself when you're having your sessions. Just say, Reverend Page, could you read so-and-so? And it will take 10 minutes for him to read it because he just logged in and was watching the news, or he was cooking, or he's ironing, and so on. And so that is why engagement is important, because you do have a lot of people logging on, but they're not paying attention. They're not fully engaged. And so we need to understand that engagement is really the new church attendance. While we're talking about engagement, might I suggest that we find ways to capture those who have attended, not in numbers. You know, people say, oh, we did a Facebook Live and 300 people came. That means what, really? It actually means nothing. It means 300 people clicked on your link, but you really don't know who was there, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's why we're going to be talking about how we can get people involved. I'm asking that you pay full attention, because I'm going to get you involved to see if we're having engagement, right? Now let's look at all of these areas that I would say they fall under the youth department. And together we're going to share what are some of the tools that we can use in these different areas to kind of build our engagement, make sure people are there and participating. We have our Sunday school, we have our youth fellowship, we have our young adults ministry, our sports ministry, our teens ministry, our children's ministry, our performing arts, our teen talent. And we're expected to be meeting at this time. How do we ensure that our young people are participating, are staying in, are doing what they need to do? I said this the last time that we talked together, that it's always important that we plan and prepare. Many a times, because you're just going online, people just think, well, let's just send out a link and people come on and we just wing it, right? Please do not wing it for your youth fellowships. Please do not wing it for your teens ministry, because their dream is not winging it. The other people that we're competing with for the attention of our young people, they are not winging it at all. They actually have team of people planning, strategizing on ways to grab attention. And so we also need to make sure that we are preparing and we are planning. Please do not wing your youth fellowships in the online space. Don't wing it. Prepare for every stage. What is it that we plan to do? What is it that we want to get accomplished? And make sure that you evaluate after each session. Why did 10 people come on? Why did 18 people come on? When we were doing the sing-along, did it work the way we wanted it to? I realized that more people were involved when we were playing a game. How do we maximize this? Should we play games before the discussion? Should we play games after the discussion? That kind of thing we want us to be thinking about. Number two, which should really be number one, pray. Must pray about these online gatherings because it is still ministry. So whatever it is that we're doing, we have to put a lot of prayer over it. Water it in prayer, soak it in prayer, stir it up in prayer, but pray about these connections. And then, even though in the next couple of slides, I'm going to be sharing a ton of things that you can do, focus on the ones that you can consistently use. So you don't have to try to do everything. Whatever I share today, pick the one that can work for your little department or your big department and work hard at it. And lastly, remember that we're not just connecting with people for connecting's sake. So please find ways to build and nurture relationships. And I want to say the importance of registering for an event or signing up for an event is going to be critical in this online time. So I know people get a little upset when they see a registration link. Oh, why do I have to give my name and my number and my email? It is so that I can find you after you have logged off. It is so that I can build and nurture relationships with you. So don't be afraid to have people register for your event, or, you can create a little Google form where they just put their name and their number, because you're going to need to be able to find these people after they've come off Facebook, come off Zoom, come off Instagram. You're going to need to be able to find them. So please focus on ensuring that you capture the data that you will need to find these people after they've attended your sessions, your meetings, your events. Because the goal is to nurture relationships so that when this is over, that we will be able to meet each other in person, and we'll all be able to continue what we've been doing over the last few months. So let's talk about how we're going to increase our engagement. 3 things that I have here. Number 1 is that our sessions can be shorter. Please note, I am not saying that there's anything wrong with a long session, but I want us to understand that we're working with technology. And even as I'm sharing this, I want you to even think about your experience this morning as you try to log on, your experience as you've been on with us for an hour or so, and how many times you've been bumped off because of your internet. So it is going to be similar for people all across our land who will be struggling at this time to connect, stay connected. Somebody said they're not seeing my screen. Somebody said they're not seeing my screen. Is anybody else not seeing my screen? Let me just make sure that I'm not doing anything that... One person in the chat says they're not seeing my screen. Anybody seeing my screen? Everybody else seeing my screen? Okay. So the person who is not seeing the screen, just kind of swipe if you're on mobile, and see if you will be able to see it soon. So our sessions can be shorter. We did a little test, so to speak, at our church where I attend. I have to put it in there. I'm a proud member of Franklin Town, despite what Reverend Martin said. And so what we noticed was that we have maybe great internet connection for at least 90 minutes anytime that we gather. And by we, I mean not just those who are hosting, but the members and so on. So I want you to also be thinking about that when you connect with your young people. Look at the time. How often people get kicked off and kick on? How many times do you get bumped off? And then kind of work that time in and say, well, we seem to get a good 60 minutes. So what it means is we're going to go for a powerful 60 minutes. And then we do it again tomorrow, as opposed to trying to force 3-4 hours into a session. And it becomes frustrating for those who are trying to join. And them just kiss them teeth and cannot bother. And just say, "Try yeah, man, I go watch TD Jakes on YouTube." We don't want that. We want them to watch TD Jakes, but not during the time that we're having our sessions. So just kind of look into that for yourself as well and see if you will be able to map out a little time that will be good for you. The other thing is you must want to be able to share your screen and introduce images that enhance whatever you're talking about. As human beings, we love to see things, we love to watch things, we love to look at things. We get easily distracted as well. So you want to be putting things on screen that will hold somebody's attention. Reverend Martin, when he turned on his video today, the first thing I saw was the wet spot in the roof. That's my attention. I'm looking for things that are off. And maybe some people will be looking, if I think I've done a lot of online things, and it's the same curtain that is behind me. It's a friend of mine that pointed it out to say, Sandrina, you can change your curtain, you know, for the next time. Now, thankfully, there is technology out there like Google Meet that has helped us to blur our backgrounds. Microsoft Teams does that as well. And Zoom give you a virtual background and virtual video filters, because they know that some of us don't change our curtain that often. Now, if you're looking on my screen, you will see some green lines coming across. This is our annotation feature. And what is happening here is once you're sharing screen, people are able to annotate. And I'm not going to disable it because I wanted to really zone in on that as we talk about how you can do some things a little differently to get people involved, right? So I'm going to just quickly look who mark up my screen, because it can tell me who is marking up my screen. So let me just look so I can thank them for reminding me that I wanted to share it. And then we're going to talk together about how you can use this annotation situation to help with your engagement, right? So I've disabled it and I'm going to clear the screen, and then we're going to talk about it really quickly. I want to share my full screen for this part so that you can see what I'm talking about. So let's see here. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm looking in the chat to make sure that you're following what I'm saying and that you can tell me if it's going the way. So if you can see my PowerPoint, just tell me that you're seeing my PowerPoint, not slideshow, but you're seeing my PowerPoint, right? We see who is seeing my PowerPoint. And then I'm going to talk to you about what we mean by annotation. Anybody seen my PowerPoint? I not seen the chat. Somebody tell me. Good. So remember a while ago I said we're going to increase engagement, right? So let's say we're on Teens Ministry tonight, and I want to say, well, I don't know if these young people know about this game, but when I was a little girl, ABC Fast or Slow was a big deal back in my day, right? So I said, okay, tonight we're going to play ABC Fast or Slow with the people. Now, all I've done so far is just put on a table on my screen, right? But do you remember what? And we don't have to use ABC Fast or Slow. We could say New Testament, because it's church, right? New Testament, Old Testament, and some other categories, right? And I'm now deciding that on the night when we're doing this ABC Fast or Slow game, I want people to play. Now, for people who are using their laptops, they may have it easier than phone, but it's still a good thing to try because it will allow people to pay attention. So I'm now allowing participants to annotate, and where it says New Testament, I want you to type New Testament books that start with J in the box that you can see. And where it says Old Testament, I want you to type Old Testament books that start with M. Now, I see somebody drawing a red line on my screen that's not typing, so we needed to annotate properly. But I'm grateful that you've gotten the gist of it, right? So it means that our young people, if we allow them the options, I hear it's Reverend Martin, if we allow them the options to participate, somebody trying to draw, yay, Joel, very good. And that's what I'm trying to say. So if when we're planning, we can find ways to get them involved, they will probably stay on a little longer because they can participate. They may have to practice how to annotate properly, but it's still working. Malachi, I see you. You're in the wrong column, but you're going on good. Job, and I see a lot of people have started to annotate. So it's not a bad thing. You will need to now use it when you need it. Right? And so we want to be thinking about how we're going to be doing things to get people involved, get them engaged. I'm going to disable annotation, just so you know, and I'm going to clear my screen so I can continue professionally with this presentation, all right? But I'm hoping that somebody would have learned something so far, and they can try to see how this will work for them as they seek to engage. So in this case, it could be a hangman game. It could be ABC Fast or Slow. It could be some, quiz type situation and you want persons to follow through, right? But you get the idea. These things will encourage participation. So let's continue. Let me see if I can bring back my screen up here and we will continue. All right. So we're talking about how to increase engagement. The other thing is evaluations. And I think this is important, especially for Bible study sessions, Sunday school. I see you, Camille, you're welcome. A lot of people don't know about annotation. Sister Jean, we have the recording for you, you're gonna be fine. And so evaluations, you have your Sunday school, you have your Bible studies, you have your youth fellowships, you talked about a topic. I want to know who did learn. I want to know who remembers something that we shared. And so you have to be looking at what are the tools you can use to evaluate this session. Was it worth it? Did they remember the golden text? And I'm going to show you some of the tools you can use to prepare your evaluation instruments. The other thing that will increase engagement, because we love to compete as a nation, competitions and challenges. Just tell somebody that they're supposed to try and beat somebody in something and they are all in, because we're just winners. Well, we're on the winning side, right? And then as Jamaicans, we like to win. So people are always going to be involved in competitions and challenges. Joan, I see your hand. Please keep your hand up until the end and we'll take the question right then and there. And lastly, that we want the thing to be fun. First of all, it is already online. I'm not seeing my best friend that I know. I don't get to walk down to Sister Pam and buy ice cream like I normally do. So I'm already stressed out. So we have to make the engagement fun. We need to make sure that we have exciting visuals, you know, or images, or GIFs, or short videos. Let me just talk a little bit about GIFs. And you would have seen GIFs in Reverend Hutchinson used GIFs in his presentation. So if we're going to be saying, I don't know, praise, we're going to talk about praise and worship, we wouldn't just want to say, okay, we're going to find a picture. We can look for GIFs. Note in Google, you search for GIFs, a lot of things come up and you can, well, maybe not that one, right? But I'm just saying that some of these moving images and graphics will help to drive the point home for our young people outside of just the wording. This man is not somebody who we want to give any praise, but such a great job, he says. And so you want to just be thinking about how you can improve what people see when they are using when they're coming to your sessions. You want to just be taking charge of what is on screen for them. Now, I talked a little bit about evaluation. So I'm going to talk about we did the share screen and annotation earlier, and I'm going to talk about the participation. I use a lot of online tools to help, and we're going to show a couple of them for you today. All right. So whenever we want to select persons to do things from our church, sometimes we don't just use the option for them to just decide, because some people will not decide, will never say they want to do something. So we find ways to kind of get them to, I like the wheel this side, get them to participate. And remember, we said that Google is our best friend. So if you're looking for something in your head and you search Google, you will find. So we found some online spin the wheels. It allows you to modify the wheel, right? So if, let's see, Reverend Page. Now, when I spin this wheel, whichever one of the ministers' name come up, they will have to sing, right? So, let's see how it works. But the point is, you can actually adjust your wheel, right? Let me make sure that I'm doing this properly. I did try. I don't think I'm doing it right. Hold on. But you can apply wheel changes. You can adjust your wheel, and then now it's time for me to find out who is to sing, right? So click to spin. It's our National Youth and Discipleship Director, Reverend Page, but he's not going to sing because we have time issues. But the point is, what we want to be doing is to increase engagement. So those who are coming to our sessions, we put their names in. And when we're doing the activities, we'll say, okay, we will now automatically decide who is going to be who is going to be doing what, who is going to be singing tonight, who is going to be sharing. And that kind of builds up a little bit of excitement for our young people and so on. And so they get a chance to, feel nice about the thing, man, and they participate. So the wheel is a good option to select people and to make it a little bit more exciting. Now I'm going back and forth between my screen because I really want to show you what I'm talking about so that you can actually see. And so the shared responsibility is going to be good for these sessions. So nobody comes to a youth fellowship now thinking it's just the board going to participate, right? Because they're not sure how you're going to spin it at this time. And it keeps the thing exciting. The other thing that I want to share is about the evaluation instruments that we could have at our disposal. And let me show you this one really quickly. Now you're going to have to just go to the recording and practice them at your leisure because we don't have like all the time in the world today, right? But this is quizmaker.com. And people can use Google Forms. There is Jot Form, there is Type Form. And why I like Type Form is because you can actually select your questions and answers in emoji formats. So your young people can answer with expressions, which is something that they're used to and that they used to talk now. So it's kind of exciting when you do it that way. So, I mean, we don't have the time to put in a quiz here, but Quizmaker, note that for your reference so you can use it at your leisure. There's the other one that's called Kahoot. Those who are in education may know about Kahoot. If you are on a laptop and you have your cell phone in hand and it's free, I'm gonna show persons what Kahoot can do, and I just need like 2 people to be able to help me with this one. So if you are on your phone or you're on your laptop and you have your phone, you can go to kahoot.it. And once you go on your phone, kahoot.it, you would just put the code on the screen that you're seeing, 2828318. You would input that code and we can show persons who are online today how to do their evaluations using Kahoot. This is free, doesn't cost you anything, and can just pop up things a little bit more for you. Vizzle is in the hizzle, and if 2 more people come in, I'll just start because we don't have all day. Mac is here, congrats, thank you for coming. And the next person that comes in, we're just gonna run through it so that we can show what is done. And you can practice this over the weekend for yourself. If I get 1 more person, I will go right ahead because, we just need to kind of have a couple more people in there. Nobody else? kahoot. All right, Mel, here we go. So the quiz is starting. And I'm going to do 2 questions and then finish it because we don't have the whole time. So true or false? Worshiping God in nature is a good substitute for going to church. Blue is true, red is false. Worshiping God in nature is a good substitute for going to church. Blue is true, red is false. Once they've answered, it shows you who is answered, and it also shows you the correct answer afterwards. I can go next, and it will show me who got it right. So Jamie's leading, Mel is in 2nd place, Simi is in 3rd place, and Vizzle and Mac clearly don't know what they're talking about. So the next question, although the Bible teaches giving, it does not specifically refer to the taking of a collection. Blue for true, red for false. I wonder what the answer will be. Okay, somebody said true, so let's see what our scores are like here. Okay, Jamie's still leading. Guys, I'm going to fast forward because it's 10 questions. We don't have the time, but I really want you to see what happens at the end. So I'm trying to find the skip button. So don't try to answer because I'm not going to allow it because we're trying to just move forward so you can see what happens at the end. And that is what we're talking about when we're saying try to ensure that you do things that will increase engagement, get your young people involved. They will love it. They will love it. I promise you they'll love it. And they will try to jump on whenever something is advertised because they know that it's going to be fresh, it's going to be different, and it's going to make them want to stay. And note very carefully that even though it's all fun, they're still learning about the Bible. They're still learning about God. So those who are planning the programs just need to be creative with the message. once the message is reached, the message is preached, the message is delivered, and you evaluate to ensure that they have this, then you know that you're on the right path. Sorry, Jamie, that you couldn't answer all the questions. I know you're brilliant and you are going to wipe the floor with everybody. But at the end, Kahoot gives you your own little podium. Mel is in third place. She has her bronze medal. Mac, out of nowhere, is a silver medal. And our winner for today, Jamie. And all this fanfare and all this excitement for Jamie. Now, this takes practice. So don't be too stressed out, you know, if you don't have it all together initially, but you have to remember to practice. It's very, very important that you practice. Let me just quickly go back to my presentation and make sure that I will tell you the last thing that I need to tell you. I know time is out. Oh, so the last thing would be our fun and games, right? Be prepared, brethren, to invest in what you want for your youth department, whether it's $100 or $10, or, you know, be prepared to invest in your youth department. Don't be too, I don't want to say stingy, you know, but don't be too stingy. Be prepared to invest in your youth department. And so one of the things that I want to say is that whilst you're looking for things, everything that we need is online. When I say everything, I mean everything. This is our Jeopardy template that came off the internet, and it has the sound, it has everything. And all we would now be doing is changing up the information to reflect our present circumstance, right? We would now be changing the information to reflect the questions that we want to ask. So they've given it to us in such a way, we're going to now go in, we're going to change the title to now Bible Heroes or whatever. That will be our job, right? Change the titles to whatever it is, spiritual mothers, I don't know. And then you will now be able to kind of flesh out your questions and your answers. And your young people will be able to log on and enjoy the time with you, but learning nonetheless. 2 more things and we will be done from my side. And it is the idea of, I'm gonna just change the setting on the Zoom so that somebody can unmute, because I need somebody to unmute so that we can do this really quickly. Only one person, please. Only one person. So if you want to be the guinea pig for this one, just type me and I will give you the privilege to unmute your mic and we will go right ahead. I don't want to do everybody because it may be an issue. So just type me in the chat and it will be you. They're afraid, Rev. They don't know what I'm going to do. They're like, okay, me, I see you. Vaughn, go ahead, Rev. Vaughn, it is you. So I've made you a co-host so you can unmute. And brothers and sisters, I don't know if Vaughn is aware of what he will have to do, but Vaughn today, for the purposes of this session, you know, just sharing with each other and allowing everybody to know about what is going to be needed to move the youth department forward, you will have to be our first singer in New Testament Church of God karaoke. Now this is called Paraphone. It costs at least $6 if you're going to use it for 2 days, and they have uploaded it with like real fully fledged all sorts of genres, but a good collection of Christian music. I was going to type Hillsong, but let's see what we can start with, because we just Vaughn, you can see the things, right?
Yeah, man, I can see one.
All right, Vaughn. So can you see the bottom here? Which song you want to sing? We have Oceans. We have What a Beautiful Name. We have My Redeemer Lives. Let's do What a Beautiful Name. It's one of my favorite songs.
All right. You assume that I know it, but go on.
No, but it's karaoke, Vaughn. You're going to be able to...
Yeah, man. Do you think, man?
It's you said me, no, it's not me.
All right.
No, if you're seeing this...
You're sharing sound?
We can, yes, we can take out all the vocals of Vaughn alone sing. We can give him some background help, and make it nice. Vaughn, you know,
The word at the beginning. God the Lord Most High.
yes, Vaughn, do it.
Yeah, man, we are chatting, we are chatting. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you are Christ. What an holy name it is.
All right, Vaughn, thank you so much. Listen, brethren, please
Can I stop
put a
now?
clap. You can't stop now. Put a clap in the chat.
All right.
Put a clap in the chat for Vaughn. Vaughn has done an amazing job, just sharing and doing what he does best. Vaughn, we appreciate you doing that. It's amazing. Don't worry.
Just cool, man. Just cool, man. I hope I boast somebody else's confidence.
So now, hear me, guys. Where time is far spent. What I'm trying to say is this: we've given you a couple of tools that you can use to start things off, to kind of increase engagement, to get people participating. But there is so much more out there. Like, once you think it, ask it in Google, and you will find something. I promise you that you will. So don't be daunted by the online. Yes, it looks like we're going to be doing this for a little longer than we had planned. But as children of God, we have to be flexible, adaptable. We're ready to do it. And youth department stands ready to support you to get the job done. So get it done, everybody. Get it done. Thank you guys so much for participating. I think we're going to ask questions, Reverend Martin. So we're going to just kind of adjust the settings on the microphone so that if anybody has questions, that they can ask them right now.
All right. Thank you.